When potential buyers first walk through the door of a home, they sometimes bring with them some outrageous beliefs, and it's my job to open their eyes to the reality of the real estate market that we're in right now. The real estate market is flying. Interest rates are historically low, and even with all the media attention the real estate market gets, some shoppers still believe they need 20% down to buy a home, or that it's cheaper to rent than buy. Some buyers think the only cash outlay needed is their down payment. Or even better, that in spite of obvious evidence to the contrary, it's always a buyer's market and they deserve to get every single item on their wish list for way under asking price, completely oblivious and tone deaf to the reality of the market and the fact that there is a line of buyers locally and from around the country waiting and chomping at the bit to outbid and buy the same home as is. So if you find a home that you love, just know there are 10 other people who love it too. This video is all about the 10 most outrageous home buyer beliefs debunked by the truth. Boom! Boom, we're live. It's Chris I Go Home Group, powered by RE/MAX Direct, and I am your local South Florida realtor. If you're new to the channel and want to learn exactly what it's like to eat, live, work, play, and thrive right here in sunny South Florida, then click the subscribe button now and tap the bell to be notified every time I do a new video. If you've got any questions or content requests, please leave them in the comments down below and I'll be happy to answer them as soon as I can. The number one outrageous buyer belief, which must be debunked by the truth, is that my family member has a real estate license. They will surely help me. Maybe, but my experience tells me otherwise. Typically, the odds of getting the best deal on your dream home varies in inverse proportion to how involved family members are in the deal. Here in South Florida, it seems like everybody has a real estate license. So almost everybody knows at least a few realtors. But let's face it, I could probably train a circus monkey to open a door and show a home. Anybody can open a door, but in this super hot competitive market, it's critical to get your offer accepted, negotiate the best deal possible, and have experienced, trusted home improvement and repair specialists, title, lender, staff, and much more on your side to ensure your experience is seamless, stress-free, and closed. As nice as it might be to help a friend or family member, if they aren't a top-producing professional, you're not helping them, you're hurting yourself. And the odds of going from showing to contract and closing are very slim. Please don't jeopardize your dream home or a friendship over a well-intentioned gesture that leads to resentment and failure. The number two outrageous buyer belief, which must be debunked by the truth, is that we'll get a better deal if we use the listing agent for the property that we buy. While this sounds good in theory, and all realtors should adhere to a standard of practice requiring fair and honest dealings with all parties to a transaction, the listing agent represents the seller and does not have the buyer's best interest at heart. On our last 19 buyer transactions, we negotiated almost $700,000 in savings for our buyers. If you want the best deal, hire us or hire somebody whose loyalty is to you and represents your best interest. The number three outrageous buyer belief, which must be debunked by the truth, is that we can find the perfect home if we just keep looking. It doesn't matter how long you look. There's no such thing as a perfect house. Is the same one that 100 other people want to buy now. With COVID prompting more people to relocate here than ever and interest rates historically low, there is no time. Get it under contract now and lock it up. If you need to, you can use the inspection period as a buffer to think or comparison shop. No hype, no sales pitch, the market's flying. And if you don't lock it up, somebody else will. Don't let minor cosmetic touch-up work stand in the way of your dream. Use your vision. See it as it will be. Use your imagination. Beth, the real estate diva, has 30 years of home improvement and repair experience, and we can easily and affordably make any diamond in the rough sparkle. In this market, time is not your friend. The number four outrageous buyer belief, which must be debunked by the truth, is that the home value posted online is probably more accurate than what my realtor says. Now, everybody knows that the A in Zillow stands for accuracy. And I assume that most online shoppers realize Zillow is wildly inaccurate, but you know what they say about assumptions. It makes an ass out of you and you. Online portals are inaccurate about home valuations almost every single time. Period. End of story. The number five outrageous buyer belief, which must be debunked by the truth, it's smart to offer way under asking price for your dream home. Here's what happened to us last week with the buyer that we were working with who absolutely refused to listen. Let's call him Bob. Bob submitted an egregiously low offer 2 days after one of our well-priced properties hit the market. The seller refused to consider the offer, instructed us to inform the buyer's agent that he's not going to work with them, and told the agent not to submit any further offers from that buyer. Their dream home went under contract with a different buyer the exact same day and closed slightly over asking soon after. Now here's a fun fact. Bob thought a heartfelt letter describing how much he wanted the property would get the seller on his side. It didn't work. Don't be like Bob. Only make offers that are supported by the comps, and remember that in this market, money talks and bullshit walks. The number 6 outrageous buyer belief, which must be debunked by the truth, is that sellers have to fix everything and anything that's wrong with the property or compensate the buyers for repairs. Now, while anything can be negotiated, and we often do, it's important to understand that when each home has multiple competing offers, and most contracts in Florida are as is, the sellers don't have to do anything other than pick the best deal for themselves. Now, not to worry, there's a time and a place to negotiate, but it's not before we get your dream home under contract. Number 7, outrageous buyer belief that must be debunked by the truth is if we have to bid full price to get the house, we can always negotiate the price down once the inspection report comes in. Now, similar to the previous answer, anything can be negotiated, but market dynamics dictate how effective this strategy will actually be. In this market, it's important to understand that when each home has multiple competing offers and most contracts in Florida are as-is purchase contracts, the seller doesn't have to do anything other than pick the best deal for themselves. Nonetheless, we will always do our best to get you the best deal possible. The number 8 outrageous buyer belief, which must be debunked by the truth, is you can worry about getting a loan once you found the perfect property. This is 100% wrong on every level. In fact, I did a video about the steps you must take before even starting your search online, which you can find up here. Nowadays, for safety with COVID and to ensure that their time isn't wasted, most sellers won't even let you in the door without producing a loan approval document and proof of funds these days. Period. Get approved as soon as possible. We work with the best lenders, and if you want the best, just let me know. The number 9 outrageous buyer belief, which must be debunked by the truth, is that all lenders are basically the same. They are not. Getting a BS pre-approval online is easy, but the odds of it funding and closing are actually very slim. In today's competitive market, you must work with a lender who will underwrite upfront and can accelerate the timelines to make your offer more attractive. Getting a real approval from a trusted lender is critical to ensure that you're set up for success. We only work with the best, so if you need a referral, just ask. The number 10 outrageous buyer belief, which must be debunked by the truth, is that interest rates are so insanely low right now that we're gonna buy a car right before the house closes to lock in these low interest rates. If your intent is to buy a car, then this is an excellent strategy. If your intent is to buy a house, this is a recipe for disaster. Guaranteed 100%. Your lender and realtor should advise you during the pre-approval process not to purchase anything on credit or open new credit accounts prior to closing. You've got to delay the gratification until after your home is purchased and closed. Now, in spite of our instruction, we had a buyer purchase brand new furniture just a few days before they were supposed to close on her new home. She didn't think it would be an issue because payments weren't due for a year. Needless to say, the purchase made her ineligible for financing and she lost the ability to buy her dream home. It was incredibly traumatic and very sad, but there was nothing that we could do to help her at the time. Now, we ended up helping her buy a home a year later, but it was a very traumatic experience and I don't recommend it to anybody. Don't do anything that will negatively impact your credit prior to closing. If you've got any questions, call me or your lender in real time and we'll talk you off the ledge. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it and subscribe to the channel. As a 40-year South Florida resident, we know all the best places to fit your desired lifestyle and budget. So if you're even thinking about moving to South Florida, you've got to give me a call, shoot me a text, a DM, send a carrier pigeon, a smoke signal, by any means necessary, because we've got your back when it comes to moving to South Florida. And until next time, peace.